Hey, we're
Hello.
live. Justine, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's what time is it here? Sort of up 7 in the morning, 20 to 28 in the morning here in the Netherlands. How about for you?
Exactly this. It's 20 to 8 at night. So had dinner and thought it'd be a nice time to have a little chat, as we like
Yeah,
to do.
yeah. What's been going on?
I've been thinking this week a lot about I've had my brother's and his wife's 50th birthday party at the weekend, and that's always just a wonderful time to hang out with people, isn't it? 50th, you'll see
Mm,
people that you have saw people I haven't seen since I was for 20 odd years. So lots of time for catching up. And I sort of was thinking about, you know, in these environments, everybody's drinking, right?
mm.
And I just wondering, why do we all drink at these events? And I was thinking it's about, you know, we've always thought that drinking is the social elixir. It's all about bringing connection. And, people have a couple of drinks and they start having a lovely connection and feeling really connected. And then I just sort of noticed, because I'm not choosing not to drink, that, how does that work for me? Did alcohol really help me connect? And sort of debunking that myth, really, because for me, I noticed that connection's really about listening to people and making time to, I haven't seen that person for a while. Let me go and have a good chat and see what they have to say. Connection's about forming and maintaining and exploring
Mm.
relationships, right? Actually, if I remember rightly, after about 3 or 4 drinks, the only thing I'm really connecting to is my next drink.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so appealing to our sense of insecurity and the sort of natural nerves that we have going into an environment that's with other people there. It's sort of our natural instinct is to be um, uh, keen to fit in and be part of the tribe. And with new people and new situations and special situations, you want that to be that's even more important. And the drink gives you that sort of calms those initial nerves. But it doesn't make anything authentic in it, and it's the connection. It allows you maybe to be brave enough to put yourself out there. But the connection, I don't think is as real, is it?
No, and I think, we were talking about it earlier that actually, when I used to drink, I think I had it's a different personality. It actually isn't even my authentic self. So
Mm.
not only it isn't an authentic connection, you're not actually bringing your vulnerable, authentic self. You're bringing a version of yourself forward that you don't live with on a day to day basis. It's a completely different version of yourself.
Yeah, no, I think I can remember that just the idea of towards the end, I sort of felt it actually conversing people, and it's sort of counterintuitive that the idea of drinking is to relax you and make you feel more confident. But in the end, it became a thing that required itself before I could get to any kind of confidence. So I used to have to drink before I went out to be brave enough to go and meet friends. And it sort of made me feel like I couldn't be the person that they wanted me to be, or the person that they thought I was without it. And it just sort of makes itself a requirement. And looking back now, it's just like it's a bizarre sort of scenario where it just worms its way in and makes itself a requirement, and it stands in the way of connection because once you've had a few drinks, yeah, like you said, you're not yourself. You remember a lot less of it, and you're not listening, and you're starting to think about I've got to keep this level up.
Yeah, and I was speaking to a woman who I met about 6 weeks ago who is just starting her journey of being alcohol free. And she's still really early in the journey. And I sort of said to her, look, as soon as you're ready to go home, just go home. Don't feel that you have to prove anything, that you need to stay out past midnight. you've turned up, and that's amazing. And you don't know anybody at this party. She only knew two or three people. We'd had a good chat, and she's perfectly within her rights to go home and have an early night. And what we
Mm,
were talking about specifically is before, when just exactly what you said. Before I went out, I would have had one or two drinks. So that would have been um, at least 4 units before I even left the house. Maybe
mm.
even, yeah, definitely two drinks. So definitely 4 units. And then when you get to the party, especially when you're excited and you've just arrived, you tend to sort of power through two more drinks. So you've probably
Yeah,
already
yeah,
got
yeah.
up 8 drinks, maybe even 12 drinks. Within an hour of being at the party of this night out, you've maxed your recommended units for the week
Yeah.
and haven't even started. You haven't
Mm,
even started. And I think
yeah,
that's real disconnect because we're desperate to sort of look after ourselves and our well-being and count our units and stay within that and get up and go to the gym and eat healthily and do all the right stuff, but how alcohol makes us behave by creating a need for itself in terms of the drinks before you get ready and the first couple that you get there completely sabotages any attempt um, to stick within your units for the week.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think what I've experienced in the years since I stopped is yeah, initially you go into these situations without a drink and you feel a bit naked, it can be feel a bit scary. But once you've done it once and you realize actually that the sort of anxiousness passes very quickly, and actually it's what everybody else is feeling, or was feeling before they had the few drinks at home before they left. Because it's like I said, it's just a natural thing that we all want to fit in and be part of the group. It's sort of part of our survival instincts. And so um, getting once you get over that step, then within 5 or 10 minutes, you'll find somebody to talk to, and you'll settle in, and then you can be yourself and in your fully authentic and fully present. Uh, Being present is sort of one of the keys to being to making the connection, and being present isn't very easy when you're sloshed.
Exactly. And there's also the fact that we all have good days and bad days. Some days you feel jubilant and really sociable, and you can't wait to go and hang out and be with people. And other days, I remember when I'd had a really long week and I had a party coming up, and I was like, I'm going to have to drag myself to this thing and do whatever it takes to get myself up and happy
Mm.
at the. Whereas I think we've now taken the pressure off ourselves for that. It's like, I'll bring what I can bring. And if it means I'm only there for an hour or so to make sure I speak to the host and speak to the people that, have a couple of great conversations, I can now call it quits quite happily and not stay towards the end and not stay till the end. Although, I don't know about you, as I've gone on in my journey, because I'm not as knackered through the week because I look after myself on the day to day, I actually am starting to be able to stay later and later again now. So, I don't turn into Cinderella at midnight. I can get past the midnight now occasionally.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is a real uh, leveler, or is that the right word? I mean, it's when you go to a party, if it's not a great party, then you're not going to be able to drink yourself into sort of enjoying it, because you're not drinking. But so it's a real sort of test of whether these people, whether you are making connection with these people, whether it is fun, whether it is and I've been to reunions, and actually one of the first moments I realized, and it was probably maybe 9 months or a year into not drinking anymore. I went to a reunion with guys from school, and was very nervous about going there because it would be a massive drinking day. And, we were meeting at a pub at lunchtime, and everyone would be nervous and drinking. And we had this sort of tradition of drinking together whenever we got together, and we hadn't seen each other um, for years and years, or at least I hadn't seen any of them. Um, and but it was immediately welcoming and back to being 15 and 18 together again. And I didn't miss it, and I didn't feel awkward. They were all really understanding, and by the end of it, I was wanting it to go on, but they were all sort of falling down, and I was just, oh, it's a shame that they're all so, hammered. That it's we're all getting on so well, and I'm having so much fun. I wish it didn't have to end. And the opposite can be true as well. You go to a sort of stuffy occasion where normally drink would have been the only way to make it bearable, because you could sort of switch off into drinking. And those situations, like you say, you could take what you can from it um, and move on. But yeah, a genuinely good time is still a genuinely good time.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, we think that alcohol is the thing that makes connections, uh, and we're just proving that is not true. Connections are connection. A
Mm.
great made by having deep and meaningful connections with people, not by what we drink or anything else. So, what would you say to somebody who is curious to see how they might be able to socialize? It's all very well us saying, "Oh, yes, it's all about
Mm.
connection." But what would you say to somebody who's maybe a few weeks in, or and is trying to explore how to socialize without alcohol?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a question of having a plan and dipping your toe in. Just sort of, okay, I've got to go to this occasion where normally I would drink. Perhaps it's going to meet someone for a drink after work. Um, Maybe let them know in advance. You're taking a break, you're doing a detox. Come up with whatever story you're comfortable with, and maybe look on their website. What do they serve? What will I drink? What will I order? So I don't have to sort of double check myself when I walk in and sort of smell the smells and see everybody else drinking. So you have a plan, um, and try and limit the decisions you have to make on the spot is always good. And don't expect too much from yourself. Maybe it will be really awkward and you won't enjoy it. But on the other hand, if you give it a chance, have an open mind, you actually might realize, oh, actually, after 5 minutes, I settled down and I forgot about the fact that I didn't have alcohol in my hands, and I was able to sort of listen properly and enjoy a laugh with this person. Um, yeah, that would be my advice.
Great, that's great advice. You've reminded me also to let people know that we have this muscle memory when it comes to new behaviours, just as we
Mm.
do with the gym. Once we've done something once in a new way, we get better at doing it that way. So, the first time that you go on holiday and you don't drink, or the first time that you go to a wedding, they're really big things, and you really have to, like you say, prepare yourself for it. Like you prepare yourself for it, you pack your suitcase carefully, plan what you're going to drink as well. Like I definitely make sure that I'm prepared when I'm on holiday now to make sure they've got lovely alcohol-free beer. I don't expect every restaurant to look after me, but I expect to look after myself. So yeah, know that it'll get easier each time you do something, and until it does, be prepared.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's true. I mean, because it's we can make these sort of logical decisions in our heads, but our emotions are going to be triggered, and our desires and the urges are going to be triggered by a situation. So you'll walk into, you're meeting it can be people, can be places, can be times of day. All these things. If you can try and think through the places where you get where you traditionally were drinking, and have a plan for and just think about it beforehand. Okay, that might be a moment where I get the urge to drink, and so when I get the urge, rather than letting it run away with itself and it turning into a uh, so that it becomes a huge thing. If you say, oh yeah, I get the urge to have a cocktail, well then have a plan. What's going to be the mocktail that you're going to go for. Are you gone? Oh, she's back.
Sorry, I just glitched.
Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, so I think yeah, that's the thing. Well, it's two things. Yeah, so if you're nervous about it, don't expect too much of yourself, but have a plan, and give yourself a chance, and appreciate the fact that it'll be more genuine. Any connection you do make will be more genuine and more authentic than it ever can be with a drink.
That's so true. And actually, for me personally, last weekend, I met somebody I'd never met before. Oh, well, I chatted to lots of people, but was actually able to form new connections as well. And I wasn't, yeah, so I met a lovely lady I'd never met before and had a great connection there. And also, some of the older connections, I didn't you can go into these things thinking that people thought the same as you 20 years ago, and you're worried you take the shame and guilt from 20 years ago into the current situation.
Mm.
um Actually, right, I'm able to bring myself now, how I am today, into these situations and present the version of myself that I'm really proud of. And I think there's something to be said about that as well. So yes, I'm connecting, and I'm connecting with with a version of myself that I'm proud of. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that when you walk away from it, it feels so much more empowering, and and it's like you said, it's the reps. Having done it once, it'll feel much easier the next time, and you'll build genuine confidence, and not not giving all your power to a funky liquid in a funny smelling bottle.
Yes. So I would say, off the to sum things up, it's about connection, not substance. Get your reps in, it gets easier. Make a plan, and also maybe start small. So don't try and do the first time you do it on your annual all-inclusive holiday, but just try on a night out.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I'll go to a place at lunchtime rather than in the evening, and where most people are having coffee, and it'll be less of a sort of urge or a trigger for you. Yeah, really good, really good. Should we leave it
We
there?
better, yep, because otherwise it's going to be dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's getting dark there. Yeah, yeah. Now, speak to you soon. Bye.